I'm writing a new ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. And though I won't get back a day's stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline. Past. Let the old house burn down and the wind scatter the ash. Forgive myself for all the broken glass, what I didn't know how to say or ask. I'm writing an ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. Though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline. My map, when the breadcrumbs flew away and there was no way back, just the compass of my heart to find the path, seen only in the dark, flash the lightning flash. I'm writing an ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. Though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline. There are stories shaped like stones, the ones our hearts have always known, the ones we finally call our own. Down where the spirit meets the bone, I'm in where another story starts. At the edges I can grow, even when they're razor sharp. I'm grateful for the words that I bookmarked before I really knew I'd need them for this part. I'm writing an ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. Though I won't get back a day's stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline.
Good morning. Happy Easter. My name is Ken Claiborne, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to all of you. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual spiritual and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to learn more about this fellowship, please ask anyone wearing a name badge with any questions you might have. You can also check our website at uufe.org, and you are all welcome to join us after the service in the gathering place for coffee and fellowship. For the listening enjoyment of all, we ask at this time if you would please turn your phones to silent mode. Also, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk in the back of the sanctuary. Normally we do announcements at this point in time, but we won't do that today. We'll do the announcements after the service so that we're not impinging on UUCEL's time also. We'll wait till the recording is stopped, and then I'll come back up and give you some announcements. Pretty brief this week. Thank you very much.
Good morning. So good to see all of you on this lovely spring day. Okay, anyway, happy Easter to all of you. I'm Melissa Alden. I'm your worship associate for today. And, you know, we know that we come here for all kinds of different reasons. We come from different beliefs, perhaps different religions when we were young or even older, different backgrounds. And we hope that we all will find comfort and connection and love here. Just to reiterate what was just said, please stay around at the end of the service for our joys and sorrows and announcements as well. In the spirit of fellowship and connection, I would encourage all of us to speak to at least one person here that you might not know really well or at all. And that's how we build connection in this wonderful community. So, to start those conversations, please take a moment now to greet the people around you. But before we do, let's all turn to our friends online and say good morning to them. Hi. Okay, go ahead and chit-chat for a minute or so.
We all continue those conversations after the service, including East Liberty folks, because they're extra chatty. So chatty. I thought I had them trained better than that. Are we good? All right. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Easter, if you haven't heard. And it's a story that has been told and retold for generations, and it carries many meanings, depending on who we are and how we hear it. At its center is a moment that kind of looks like an ending. A life had ended, a future had collapsed. Those who followed Jesus were left trying to make sense of what just happened. It felt unfinished. And yet, as we all know, the story does not end that way. Whatever we make of that story, it points to something deeply familiar to all of us. There are moments in life when we reach a place where we're just certain the story is over. And then, sometimes slowly, and sometimes all at once, we discover it isn't. So this morning, we gather not to resolve the mystery of Easter, but to sit with what it opens, to notice where we may have decided something is finished and to consider what might still be possible. So come and let us enter into worship together.
We light this chalice not because the path is clear, but because we are still here, still wondering, still searching, still open to what will come next.
Flame be a reminder that what seems finished is not always the end. And may it keep us open to what we have not yet imagined.
So, I want to ask you all a question. Have you ever watched a movie or read a book where everything goes wrong right before the end? You ever done that? Yeah. You know the moment I mean. The hero loses. The plan fails. Everything falls apart. But now, imagine this. Imagine you're reading a book like that. The hero tried everything. Nothing worked. The villain wins. The friends are gone. The future looks terrible. And then you turn the page and it says, the end. What would that feel like? Would that feel like a good ending? No. It would feel strange. Something would feel unfinished. But then, imagine you notice something. You look at the book again and you realize there's still a lot of pages left. So what would that mean? Well, it means the story isn't over yet, right? Something else is about to happen. Maybe someone finds new courage. Maybe friends return to help. Maybe a surprising idea occurs. But whatever happens next, you know something important. The story still has more to say. Now, the Easter story has a moment just like that. On the day we now call Good Friday, even though it was kind of sad, something very sad happened. Jesus was arrested by the Roman government for being a threat to their rule. He was put on trial and hung on a cross to die. His friends watched it happen, and they were heartbroken. They had believed Jesus was the Son of God and that he would change the world. But now it looked like everything had fallen apart. From their point of view, the story was finished. They thought the last page of the story had been written. After Jesus died, a good man named Joseph came to the authorities and asked if he could take away Jesus' body and put him in a tomb carved into a rocky hillside, one that he had been saving for himself. The authorities agreed. They gave Jesus' body. And then Joseph and a few women wrapped his body in linen and placed it in the tomb. And then the tomb was sealed with a very large boulder to keep the body safe. And that was on Friday, Good Friday. On the following Sunday morning, the women returned to his tomb with spices and perfume to put on Jesus' body, as was the custom. But when the women arrived to the tomb, they discovered something really surprising. The large stone sealing the cave had been moved. It had been rolled away. The tomb was empty, and Jesus was gone. And soon they began telling us an amazing story that God had raised Jesus from the dead and brought him back to life, after which Jesus rose up to heaven. And so it turned out that the story was not over. There were still pages left in the book, so to speak. And sometimes life is like that too. Sometimes something sad or difficult happens and we think the story is finished. Nothing else is possible. But Easter reminds us of something very, very important. Sometimes the page that we think is ending is really just the moment before the story turns in a new direction. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I want to illustrate that message in the story, or in this case, it's going to be a game of not necessarily being over. So I need some volunteers. Doesn't have to be everybody, but it's going to be a quick experiment. Kids are welcome and adults too. Come on. And if you want to volunteer, go to the back of the sanctuary. Please, somebody go back. All right? All right. So here's the task. You're going to toss this ball into this bin. Easy, right? But you only get one try. And if you fail, the game will end. Okay? All right. You got to toss it here. From there. Okay? Yeah, don't hit anyone. Don't knock the TV over.
Do we help?
Huh?
Do we help?
No.
You're on your own.
All right. Are we ready in East Liberty? Head thumbs up if you are.
You already did it.
Oh, you already did it.
Flowers will be safe, but
All right. Well, we're slow over here, so come and give us a chance. All right. Toss away. Nope. Next. That's it. Game's over. No, give John the ball. Okay, now I know what he really thinks of me. All right, Laura. Nope. Oh, close. Nope. Good idea, you move the flowers. All right, Chuck. You're the ringer. Oh, not even close. All right. So the game's over. Wait a minute. Maybe it's not over. What if we make a small change in the game? Allow for a new possibility for success. Are you willing to try, or do you just want to stay sitting down and not play anymore? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, if you want to play, this time I want you to stand right here, up front, maybe a couple of feet from the basket.
Bring your ball.
So, come on. Forward. And this time, you can try as many times as you want, and you can even ask for help if you need it. Okay? So, try it again. All right. Woo! Yeah, as far as you need to be. Chuck, throw it. All right. Oh, come on. Basketball is not your thing. All right. Come on, John. Oh, hey. All right. Well, that worked. I guess the game wasn't over after all. So let's think about that for just a second. Nothing about the players themselves suddenly changed that helped them succeed, right? They're the same people, same problems. What changed was the situation and the willingness to accept a new possibility to keep going and trying again. So in being willing to try a new way of doing something, instead of accepting at face value that the game was over, we just rewrote the ending of the game. It became a completely different story. And it's moments like these in which we decide whether something is finished or not. That's what this service is all about. So with that, we will ask you to rise again in body or spirit as we sing hymn 266, Now the Green Blade Riseth. They can stay if they want to, or they can go. I plan for them to stay, but they can go.
Please rise if you're willing and able.
few moments, our offering will be taken. Here at UUFE, our cash offering will be given entirely to the UUFE Assistance Fund.
Our offering today is a tangible expression of our commitment to making a positive impact both within our congregation and in the broader community. The social justice mission designee for this quarter is partial to girls. Didn't realize that already. Yes, Women Taking Action. Partial to Girls is a diverse group of women working together and taking action in our community to help underserved women and children. You can give to them by noting it in the memo of your check if you like, or by using the donate button on our webpage. Thank you for your generosity. Please enjoy this musical interlude while our offering is being collected.
So this is a sing-along, and your line is, life is too short to fold underwear. There's one piece of wisdom that sticks in my head. I heard it someplace, or it's something I read about someone or other whose grandmother said that life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear. Well, life is too short to eat processed cheese, or mealy tomatoes, or third-rate Chinese, or to live someplace dismal without any trees. And life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear. This is a song that grows more verses over time. This is a verse for anybody who was driving around rush hour like yesterday. Life is too short to spend at the wheel, moving 10 miles an hour in your automobile, while your temper gets frayed and your muscles congeal. And life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear. Here's a verse I wrote for the fine folks at the Avalon Folk Festival, which is the nation's premier clothing optional folk festival. Life is too short for buttons and ties, for pants that fall down or get tight in the thighs, when your skin is the thing that's exactly your size. And life is too short to wear underwear. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear. Well, life is too short to spend it alone, or with folks that are mean, or a long way from home, or to serve an obsession that isn't your own. And life is too short to fold underwear. Last time. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear. Yes, life is too short to fold underwear. Thank you so much.
We can experience a long spectrum of emotion. Our first reading today is For a New Beginning by John O'Donohue. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness grow inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight, when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy, and dream a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease and risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Our second reading is Resurrection by Paul R. Beadle. In all sacred literature, the hearts of the storytellers are revealed in the stories. Their breath is felt in the words on the page, and we may be touched or moved or stirred by their ancient art, and maybe we can glimpse a truth that they saw. If we read closely and reflect on what we have read, and we can get a glimpse of what later interpreters saw, if we serve up their symbols as a separate dish rather than baking them into the story. We need a chance to savor each perspective. The art of contemplation is how art begets art. It's how poems become songs, how stories become statues and paintings and rituals. One person's creativity awakens another's creativity. Life touches life, spirit touches spirit, even down the long corridors of time. The Easter story has echoed down the centuries in this way, reverberating in sometimes surprising ways. It says that after Jesus had suffered the worst agonies imaginable, had been physically tortured and publicly humiliated, pierced, broken, and killed, still there are those who cared about him. He was beyond their help, but they surrounded him with their love. And after a time, Jesus was healed in the tomb, healed from death, and he returned to life. How does this happen? None of his friends know. It hits them like an earthquake, or it comes as a puzzling surprise that he is no longer in the tomb. They recognize him, and they do not recognize him. He has come through this trial a changed man, and he has something to say to them. Isn't that the story of grief? of shame, of despair, of all our worst suffering. We die from it, and afterwards, we live from it. And then we have something new to say.
So earlier today, we talked about reaching the end of a book and thinking that story was finished. Then something unexpected happens. The page turns and the story continues. We also saw how this idea can be seen in the Easter story. For several years, the followers of Jesus had listened to a teacher who spoke about love, about justice, compassion, and the possibility of a transformed world. So for Jesus' followers, the future was bright. But then Jesus was falsely accused of a crime so severe that he was sentenced to death, brutally tortured, and executed. After Jesus died, his followers didn't know what to do. They had believed in him, they had trusted him. Some had left behind their work and their daily lives, and now he was gone. So they gathered in a room and locked the door because they were afraid. They had seen what happened to Jesus from the Romans, and they knew how quickly things could turn on them for being associated with him. Staying hidden felt safer than stepping outside. We may not know their exact situation, but we know the feeling they probably had. Because there are moments when something important ends in our lives, and the future we expected disappears with it. And in those moments, it's natural to pull back. We get quiet. We try to make sense of what just happened. That locked room in the story is not only a place for long ago. It's a place we can recognize in our lives today. It's where we go when we do not know what comes next. And if we're honest, most of us had had moments when we were certain the story had ended. I've had many such endings to stories in my life. Times when the rug was pulled out from underneath me so swiftly that I never felt it happen until I fell flat on the floor in abject bewilderment, wondering what the hell just happened. Perhaps the most profound instance of this experience was in 2016. After I completed my year of chaplain residency, I needed to complete a congregational internship as a requirement to become a UU minister. However, I wasn't in a good headspace then. My experience of being a chaplain at a prominent trauma center had left me raw and emotionally spent. And I cannot emphasize enough how emotionally taxing that work is, even under the best of circumstances. Also, at that time, I was married to someone who turned out to be verbally and emotionally abusive, and succeeded in stripping me of every ounce of joy and light in my life, and left me with almost zero self-confidence. So then I started my internship in that space. And over the course of that year, everything began to unravel. My focus slipped, my performance suffered. Needless to say, at the end of the year, my supervisor told the Ministerial Fellowship Committee, the gatekeepers of all things minister, that I was not ready to move forward and that I would need to start over with another internship. To me, that was the end. There was no way I could possibly do another internship. For one thing, they pay, well, you know what interns get for pay. You can't live on it. And I was already broke. So that dream I had of working toward, that I'd been working toward for years, was gone. I returned home to Dayton feeling like I had failed. Not just myself, but everybody who had ever believed in me. I took a low-paying job in a call center and tried to settle into a life I had never planned. A couple of years after my failed internship and still stuck in that emotional muck, Erica came into my life. At some point early on in our relationship, I told her the whole story. The failure, the grief, the shame, and the sense that everything I had been working toward was finished. She listened. And then, to my surprise, she refused to allow me to remain engulfed in feelings of shame, failure, and mediocrity. She believed that still were unwritten chapters in my life, and she encouraged me to try again, to consider the possibility that my story was not finished. I'm pretty stubborn, and I resisted that idea. It felt totally unrealistic, felt very risky. I was convinced, absolutely convinced, that I had already seen how this would end. No one in their right mind, no minister, would risk taking a chance on me. But Erica kept at it. And eventually, maybe I got tired of hearing it, I don't know, I finally gave in. And I applied to one internship site, just one. It felt like the most I could risk. So I waited for a response. Part of me, of course, expected rejection. Another part began to wonder if something else could possibly happen. And then the phone call came. I was accepted. I was invited to Albany, New York to begin a new internship. Someone was willing to give me a second chance after all. And in that moment, I realized something that I had not been able to see before. The story I thought had ended hadn't. And that's what I mean when I talk about embracing possibility. It doesn't erase what came before. It does not undo loss. It does not even guarantee what comes next. What it does is it changes what is still possible and open. Looking back, when I believed my story was over, everything in my life became smaller. I stopped taking risks. I stopped imagining anything different. And in a very real way, I started living a careful and boring life, almost on autopilot. And it was easy to stay in that place because I could rationalize it and I could justify it, and it was safe. While I was still in that mindset, I first stumbled upon the song "Life is Too Short to Fold Underwear." That song spoke to me. And I saw myself reflected in those words because at that time, I really was playing solitaire and eating third-rate Chinese. And yes, I did fold underwear. Ask Erica now, that's a different story. But the song also gave me just a glimmer of understanding that I maybe wasn't living the life that I could be. And that maybe, just maybe, there might be another way to be, another possibility. Because it's a funny song, yes, but it also makes a very serious point. There are many things we spend our time and energy on that don't actually matter very much. And there are parts of life that invites us to be more open, more present, more alive, but we don't always say yes to them. For a long time, I was certain I already knew how my story would end. I was no longer looking for anything beyond what I had already decided was true. But what changed, and thanks to Erica, I began to allow for the possibility that I might be wrong. That I might be telling myself the wrong story. And that small change made room for something else to enter. This idea of realizing that the story we're telling ourselves may not be true reminds me of a Peanuts cartoon I once saw. Picture this. Snoopy's sitting on top of his doghouse, typing away at a typewriter. Charlie Brown comes by and he says, "I hear you're writing a book about theology. What's it called?" Snoopy pulls out the page out of the typewriter and shows it to him. The title reads, "Did it ever occur to you that you might be wrong?" It's a funny cartoon and like the song, but it nails the message on the head. As long as we are certain we already know how the story ends, there is no room for anything new. And I think we've all experienced this kind of turning point when we realize that the story we're certain about no longer holds. We might find ourselves facing what we thought had already been decided, the door not only being closed but nailed shut, and nothing else is possible. But instead of repeating that same dismissal about what is possible, maybe we pause. Maybe we consider something we had already ruled out. And maybe we begin to move in a direction we once believed was closed and embrace a new possibility. So perhaps Easter is not asking us to explain what happened in that story long ago. Perhaps it's asking whether we are willing to loosen our certainty just enough to make room for something we cannot yet see. As we leave this place today, we do not need to leave with answers. We leave with a question. What might become possible if we are wrong about how our story ends? Maybe the story we're telling ourselves is not yet finished. It is still unfolding. May it be so. Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As you leave this place, hold lightly the stories you tell yourself about how things will end. Make room for the possibility that you may not yet see the whole picture. And be willing to step forward when something opens. Go in peace. And now we'll join East Liberty in singing their closing song, Go Now and Live Your Religion. The words are in your order of service.